difficulties. Thank you, Ernest, for the introduction of this Smart Nation initiative, which is my Smart Ahma Top Pick series for NLB Mobile app. Just a brief introduction about myself. I'm Siu Chen. I'm working at VMware, a US software company. So I'm very thankful for this opportunity to share more about the NLB Mobile app, and as a Smart Nation ambassador to share with you more about the key features of NLB Mobile app, how to download the application, and how to use it for your own daily life. So next up, Smart Nation is about making use of technology to make Singapore a great place to live, work, and play. So personally, I volunteered with Smart Nation since last year and started out from Merdeka Generation Roadshow, and currently I'm conducting sharing sessions on the different technology tools that Singapore government have came out with everyone, so that you can have a better understanding of how is it like. So a brief introduction of NLB Mobile app. It is your personal library anywhere and anytime. So what you can do is you can read on the move with seamless access to NLB content and services. And as you know, since young, for example, for me, I have to go to NLB physically to borrow the books. But over the past few years, NLB Mobile app, they have came out with this initiative, which is to digitalize the way of borrowing books and accessing your personal library anywhere and anytime. So next up, I'll be sharing more about what the new NLB Mobile app will feature, including on high level, borrowing, payment, ebooks, discovering more about the different content on NLB Mobile app, as well as the various events that you can sign up via this mobile app. So I would like to make this a more interactive session. I would like to invite everyone in this call to take out your mobile phone because we'll be running through a step-by-step guide to download the NLB Mobile app. So first, you can take out your mobile phone and scan the QR code on the PowerPoint slide. So the good thing about NLB Mobile app is that it's available on both Apple App Store as well as Google Play Store. I just give everyone a few seconds to scan the mobile app. Yep. So after scanning the QR code, you'll be prompted to the screenshot on the left, where you can click on the download icon for either Apple App Store or Google Play Store. And after clicking the downloading button, you could click install and then open an NLB mobile application. So it's pretty straightforward. Next up, you'll be prompted to this screen where it is a sign-in screenshot. And at the bottom, you could see the login button as well as a sign up button. So assuming that you're a first-time user of the NLB mobile application, you have to sign up for an account using either your SingPass or your NRIC or PIN number. So you'll be prompted to this page, and subsequently, once you click on either the SingPass option or the NRIC or PIN number option, you come into the next screenshot that is available here, where you'll be prompted to create an online user ID. So you could create one that is convenient and you could remember from time to time. So one good feature about this is that after your first login, you do not need to re-log in again in the future unless you choose to log out using the logout function. So next up, I would like to introduce the NLB mobile app. So after downloading and installing and setting up your account, you'll be prompted to this page, which is a screenshot on the left. This is the first dashboard that you see each time you log into the NLB mobile application. So on a high level, you could see that there are many different kind of features here, such as ebooks, e-newspapers and e-magazines, e-learning, SPH newspapers, and the various curated resources, such as the new ebook arrivals that have been created by our friendly librarians at NLB. So I'll be going more in depth into some of the key features that NLB mobile app features, and hope you could try it out next time after this seminar. So the very first feature that I would like to introduce is how to borrow ebooks using the NLB mobile app. So typically we have to borrow the physical book at the physical library around the whole of Singapore, depending on where you stay. And because I would say that currently, especially during this pandemic period, where people may be more comfortable staying at home and they want to yet read more about books at the same time, you could use the ebooks function for the NLB mobile app, where, for example, once you click on this button, you'll be prompted to this particular page where you can explore ebooks by the various subjects that NLB has. For example, you're interested in cooking, you could learn more about cookery and food by clicking on this. If you're more interested in, for example, business, how do you set up a new business during this pandemic, you could click on this particular button and browse the different collection highlights or explore the ebooks by the various subjects that we have. So next up, another way to search for the particular ebook that you want is by clicking on the search function right at the bottom of the NLB mobile app, where next you'll be prompted to this particular page where you could find a particular ebook or music or film that you're interested in. So for myself, I like to read more about personal development. So yesterday I was using the NLB mobile app and I searched for Grit by Angela Duckworth. So after searching for the book, this was what was prompted and recommended by NLB. And the media type is ebook. And the good thing is that there's a summary of what the book is about, as well as the description of the author, Angela Duckworth, for example. Next up, you could tap borrow right at the bottom of the NLB mobile app to borrow this particular ebook that you're interested in. Then there are two different ways where you can read the ebook, either via online or download, where you can read offline on the Libby app, which I'll be sharing more later on during our presentation. And one amazing feature about NLB mobile app is that ebooks are automatically returned when due. Unlike physical books, when you have a certain dates where you have to return the books, and if you were to pass that particular deadline, for example, you have to pay a fine. But one particular amazing feature about ebooks using NLB mobile app is that you don't have to worry about paying for these fines, and the ebooks are automatically returned when they are due. So next up, I'll introduce Libby, which is a reading companion to the NLB mobile app. So like what I mentioned earlier on in the previous slide, you could use the Libby app to download the particular ebook you're interested in. You can tap on this particular button, download, and you'll be redirected to either the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. And you could follow the same instructions that I went through earlier on. Click on the install button, open the application, and you could tap sign in using your My Library ID. So comparing Libby and NLB Mobile, Libby enables you to borrow and read NLB's ebooks and audiobooks offline, while for NLB Mobile, it is for you to check your account, read ebooks online, and access our abundant resources at NLB Mobile. So for myself, I like to use Libby because I like to read on the go without compromising my mobile data. So let's say if you were to choose the first option of reading online, it may affect your mobile data usage, but then if you were to use Libby and download the book offline, you could read it offline anytime and anywhere you want without worrying about the mobile data usage. So next up, one new feature about NLB mobile application is e-learning with Lynda Library. So you could click on this particular icon in NLB mobile app on the homepage, the e-learning icon, and you'll be prompted to this particular page that I'm showing now, where you can create a new Lynda profile to save your bookmarks. So you just have to key the user details such as your first name, your last name, as well as your email, and you have access to Lynda Library resources. So one particular amazing feature about this is that as an NLB library member, you have complimentary and free access to the online courses from Lynda Library that NLB has subscribed to. So what I mean by that is that, for example, if I want to learn more about business subject, I could go into Lynda Library and click on this particular icon. Then there are many different kinds of courses you could read up on and watch videos on to be more well-versed in that area. You could also do a search in the search bar. For example, you want to find out more about photography 101. You could search for it on the top search icon, then click on the course that you're interested in to watch and learn more about photography 101. So from this particular page, you could see there are so many different kinds of courses that you can learn, and they also rank the courses according to the different proficiency level, from beginner to intermediate, etc. So another feature about NLB mobile app is that you can access e-newspapers via the app. So Singapore Press Holdings newspapers are available to NLB members, and through the app link or this particular website link that is shared here. So you can access a range of SPH newspapers from the Straits Times to Business Times to New Paper to different kind of languages like Sao Pao, Wan Pao, or Berita Harian, and other newspapers they are interested in. So next up, there are many other features on the NLB mobile app. So for example, you could access your e-card instead of using physical cards to borrow at the library. Another thing is that you could use this particular icon, which is a camera icon, to take picture of the physical book that you want to borrow at the library, then it'll be automatically borrowed. Next up is you can check on what are your loans that you have, from the physical book loans to ebook loans, the bookmarks, and you could pay outstanding fees that you have using the app as well. So you don't have to physically go down to a particular library around your neighborhood to pay for outstanding fees or to borrow a physical book that you're interested in. So apart from the whatever features that I've shared earlier on, there are many more features on the mobile app.nlb.gov.sg website. So there are many relevant resources that are curated by our friendly librarians. So one particular section that I really love is the Spotlight section, where our friendly librarians, they have actually curated the resources according to different categories, from upskilling to pandemics to well-being, etc. So for me, I'm interested in the well-being section, especially during this pandemic period. How can we keep ourselves healthy? What I really love is that when I'm clicking through the resources, there are many recommended kind of mediums that NLB librarians have recommended, from ebooks such as this, how to make disease disappear, to videos, to e-learning videos from the Linda Library, as well as stories on the internet. So if you are keen, you could click on these different links to find out more about keeping healthy, for example. And there are many other areas of topics under the well-being section as well, such as living on a budget, random acts of kindness, and the list goes on. So with that, I've come to the end of my sharing session on how to download NLB mobile app, as well as the new features that we have. So next up is a key announcement from NLB, is that there are upcoming updates to the NLB mobile application, and your existing application will automatically be updated. So there's no need to download a separate application, and you could still read your curated resources anytime and anywhere. So next up is time for Q&A. Do we have any questions?
Okay, thank you, Siu Chuan, for your sharing. So I believe there are some questions that have been coming in throughout your sharing.
Okay.
And my colleague Simon has also been helping to answer them. So so we'll proceed now to the Q&A segment. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the Q&A box, or if you'd like to share your questions verbally, you can also do so by raising your hand, and we'll proceed to unmute you. So we are thinking of your questions. We will also share the feedback form. So this is a QR code for the feedback form for today's session. You can scan the QR code or access the feedback form by the URL stated in the slide here. Remember to choose seniors for the program, enter today's date, and enter NLB under the name of the program. And remember to answer the questions before submitting. I also want to share very briefly about next week's session. We'll be covering on this another government app. It's called Coast to Coast. So for those of you who are very avid trackers or like to enjoy nature, some of you may have heard of this new Coast to Coast trail that NParks have developed or constructed. It spans from Jurong Lake Gardens all the way to Coney Island at Punggol, and it's 36 kilometers in total in terms of distance. And during this trail, you'll be able to use this app to find out more information about some of the things that you encounter during the trail, like some of the flora and fauna, types of flowers and animal species, essentially. So you can use if your camera has supports AR features, you can also use them to see these AR characters as though they're in real life. So it makes your experience more interesting also. So this is what we'll cover next week. And if you'd like to sign up for it, please visit our website at go.gov.sg/smart-seniors. Or you can go straight to the Smart Nation homepage and find the link from there as well. All right. So there was a question that was asked by Lillian earlier. She was asking whether you can borrow Chinese novels for ebooks. So the response is yes, you can search for them as long as you are able to input Chinese characters in your phone. Then you can just search for it and you can follow the same process to borrow the ebook as well. Hey, so Shen, do you mind running through the part? So we're receiving some questions already on the Q&A box. So we have a question from Vin. He or she has requested to run through the segment about the spotlight again.
So okay, I will share my screen again.
Yep.
Okay. So regarding Vin's question on...
you will have to switch your display again.
Oh, sorry. Okay, is it okay?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Yep. So regarding Vin's question on where can we find the spotlight section, so you could access it via mobileapp.nlb.gov.sg. So you can scroll all the way down, or right at the top you could see many different kind of categories. So spotlight section is one of them. You can click on it and you could see all the different kind of resources that are created by our librarians under the spotlight section. I hope that answers your question. And I saw another question from Hilda regarding if I borrow ebook from NLB app and I want to read offline, how do I get to Libby? I will share the screen again. So regarding that question on Libby, how can we download that? Is that once you have searched for the particular ebook, for example, that you're interested in, you could go all the way to the bottom of the page where you can click on the download button. So you'll be prompted to download the Libby application from either Apple Store or Google Play Store. Then from there, once you have installed the Libby application, you could sign in using your My Library ID and borrow the ebooks from there to read offline. Yeah, hope that answers Hilda's question. Then back to Vin's question regarding the where can we access Spotlight section. So this is only via the website link. Mobileapp.nlb.gov.sg. Yep. So Terry, maybe you can add on regarding this. Sorry, Ernest, could you add on regarding this Vin's question? Whether can we only access the Spotlight section from mobileapp.nlb.gov.sg?
I was looking through the app as well, and it seems like the Spotlight feature is only available on the URL that you shared. So you can access this URL either via your phone, mobile browser, or your PC browser. Yep.
Okay, thank you. We have another question from Freddie regarding, is there a tutorial on the NLB app for this Zoom session? Yes, we have. So maybe Ernest, you could share more about how you can share with our participants on the Zoom, on the tutorial videos that we have for NLB application.
Oh, I believe Freddie is referring to this video that we're recording now.
Oh, this particular video. Okay, I see.
So Freddie, you can access this video by the end of this week. We will put it up on the YouTube channel, you can take a look at these steps again on how to download the app and how to use the app. So, but I think the best way to familiarize yourself with the app is to download it yourself, to try it out and to sign up and to explore the app also. Yeah. So that within the app itself, there's also a FAQ segment under more, and there are lists of frequently asked questions. So this would be very useful to help answer some of the more technical queries about what if you forget your password or ID and so on. Yeah. So I think you can find some of the questions, and some of the answers you're looking for also through the app itself. Yeah.
We have
Question from Amanda also. She was asking about having to separately subscribe to SPH within the NLB app to read the news. Currently, there's no need to subscribe or to pay additional fees to view it, but I think there's limitations to what you can do on the app and what you can read on the app. Yeah. So just to also share the steps again. So once you open the NLB mobile app, you will see 4 circles in the home page. So you click on SPH newspaper, then you'll be redirected to your web browser, to your mobile browser. Then in the list of papers below, you can see papers like Straits Times, Business Times, New Paper, and so on. So just tap on. They also have Mandarin newspapers and then Wanbao and other languages in other newspapers in Tamil and Malay as well. So you can tap on any of them to open. So what you have to do is you have to zoom in to each page to be able to read because on its own it's very small. So it's a digital version of the day's newspaper. Yep. So there's no subscription required for this. Yep.
So to add on to Ernest's point, same for Linda Library, you get as an NLB library member, you have complimentary access to the online courses from Linda Library for free, as long as NLB has subscription to these courses. Are there any more questions regarding NLB mobile application? Thank you, Christy. It's definitely easy to use. There are many new features on the NLB mobile application. So personally, I love that I can borrow ebooks, yet at the same time have free access to e-learning resources on different kind of topics that I'm interested in. And the best part is I can access the application from anytime and anywhere. And I don't have to worry about forgetting about my due date for my particular book that I borrowed. As long as, because ebook, you can automatically return it once the due date is up.
Yeah, it's good to hear from our participants that they find it very easy to use and useful for them, especially during this period of time where we can't really go out, or we can't really go to the library as frequently or as comfortably as we used to in the past. So this is a very good alternative. And the NLB is also trying very hard to provide more resources for us to do more e-learning and also to pick up new skills as well, like what Su Chen has shared earlier. So to add also about the newspapers part, you can actually refer to the past 2 weeks edition of some of the newspapers like Straits Times. So you just need to tap on go to the same steps that we've shared earlier, and there will be a calendar icon after you open the particular newspaper. So you can tap on the icon and refer to the did in the last 2 weeks that you learned to read also. Yeah.
And Christy have another point regarding storybooks for 5 years old. Yeah, you can browse for children's picture books, for example, for 5 years old kids or any kids to read at home anytime and anywhere. We have another question from Hilda regarding reading Straits Times need to be online. Yep. So maybe I can share more about that. Yep, the SPH newspapers are available to NLB members through the app link or this particular website link that we shared here.
Yeah, so after you tap on the button, it will actually direct you out of the app to a mobile browser. So you need internet access to access or to read these papers.
Mm. Do you have any more questions regarding how to maybe download NLB Mobile app or use a different features?
So to answer Amanda's question, the title on the YouTube channel after we upload will be the same as today. Yeah, so you'll be able to see, you can just search for the title NLB mobile app, or if you're on our YouTube channel, it will be one of the first few or newer videos for this week. So if it's ready, we'll be able to upload as soon as this evening or early tomorrow. Yeah. So don't have to worry about it. A comment from Christy, I should reach out to more elderly about NLB app. Yes, we agree. It's what we're doing right now. Because we can't do face-to-face engagement, so we're trying out this online engagements right now. So we also appreciate your help to share this, what you have learned today, with your other friends as well, your friends or family members also, about this NLB app and what they can do with it. So if there are no other questions, I think we can conclude today's session. Thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon to hear more about the NLB app. If you have any more questions or feedback, please feel free to stay behind. If not, I hope to see all of you again for next week's session on the Coast to Coast app. And once again, thank you, Su Chen, for taking time to join us to do this sharing this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
So for those of you who have not done so, please complete the feedback form also, which I'll share with you on the screen right now.